Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of the Crazy Knitter Studio podcast. My name is Kristin. I am your hostess. I'm also known as Crazy Knitting Fool on Ravelry, and I'm calling this one The Monkeys Off My Back. Yay! So I want to welcome everyone who is returning and say hello to anyone out there who's viewing this for the first time. I hope you enjoy it and stick around for what's to come. So moving right into it, presser. So the weeks in review. Um, we went back to school. Well, the son went back to school. It's been 2 weeks, and he's having some issues. None of his friends are in his class, so he's upset about that. He's sitting next to a boy who he's had some issues with last year. Everything so far has been okay, but um, it's only week 2. They have the kids at tables, so there's 4 of them at the table, and Clark and this other kid, Mateo, sit across from each other. So hopefully it'll be okay, but we'll see. He's not wanting to ride the bus because his friends all get dropped off in the morning, so he wants to get dropped off at, they call it Loop, um, so he can see his friends for an extra 10 to 15 minutes in the morning. They kind of congregate all the kids in the hallway before they let them go to the classrooms. But things seem to be okay. We went to curriculum night on Thursday, so we learned everything, and first grade's going to be no joke. He's going to have homework every night. His teacher said 20 minutes, so for him that probably means 40. So this is going to be very interesting to see. So we'll see how it goes. I also, August 31st was my 5th anniversary at work. So I started working in January there of 2010 as a temp, and then I got hired in August. So another coworker of mine who celebrated her 20th year, and our boss and the director of our department, we all went to lunch at Champs. And then we had cake. So it was okay. I have to pick out my gift. I'm not sure what I'm going to get. There was nothing that really interested me. It was like clocks and pens, a beautiful vase, but it'll get broken in my house. So I don't know. We'll see. Um, there's also been some family drama going on. It's always fun. Um, there was some drama over the summer with the same person, different issue than now. But so June, the beginning of July were rough. Things kind of settled down, and then last Sunday I got some news that I'm not too happy about, and it's just, stressful. So, and then moving on to today, in my infinite, never-ending quest to find weird ways to injure myself, I don't know if you can see right here. I was making pancakes this morning, and I was flipping them, and hot oil came up and burned me on my forehead. I swear. I A month ago, I think I told you in the last episode, I tripped over my pant leg and pulled something so bad in my side I actually thought I broke a rib. And now I'm burning my forehead. It's like I can see your hand, I can see your arm, but it's like this is going to be fun to try to explain to people. Like, I burned my forehead cooking. Like, how do you. Anyway, so that's it. It's been a fun couple of weeks. So, moving on. Uh, so, touchdown, FOs. The blanket of doom is finished. Yay! I don't have it with me. It's like quarter after 12. It's Sunday now, September 20th. So, this is the only chance I'm going to have this weekend to record. So, you're getting the late show version. But little man sleeping with it. And I went upstairs and I tried to see if I could get it, but he's under him and I don't want to even attempt it. So I'll put a picture in. I'll try to. We'll see how that goes. But I'll definitely put one in the show notes. But it is done. So that was the Spider-Man blanket by Aunt M. I used size 8 needles. Used Red Heart Super Saver in Cherry Red and Royal and Karen Simply Soft and Black. And it was huge. Huge. Like, it was so bunched up on the needles because it was only a 48-inch circular. I didn't realize how big it was. So I measured it. 55 inches diameter. It's a circular blanket. I was going to line it. I made the executive decision. No. He loves it. He adores it. He could care less if it's lined. And I don't really sew, so the thought of trying to back a 55-inch round object, I mean, if it was a square, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I don't know. It being round really intimidates me for some reason, so it's staying as is. But he likes it, so that's all that matters. I'm really sorry about the lighting's bad. Again, it's midnight. The glare. Sorry. But it's done. I have a touchdown. Yay! So moving on to my first downs, which are whips. I really haven't. I just finished weaving in the ends tonight on the blanket. So this, my whip, or it will be tomorrow or later today. I'm going to do a Bluebird of Happiness for the Moms with Yarn Pediatric Cancer Awareness Knit Along. So I'm going to try and make at least one. And you have to take a picture of it doing something fun. So I have to, see if little man can help me come up with something. But other than that, I haven't worked on anything in 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks, almost, to knit and bind off that blanket. And that it was, I'm trying to think, 6 rounds that I had left. But, it was 800 and some stitches at the end, so, can't really complain about that. So, turnovers, so far, so good. No mistakes. Training camp, future projects. I have the Bluebird of Happiness. And I have a bunch of whips. I have a pair of socks. I showed in the first episode my shawl design, a pair of socks, the Afghan squares. So I need to get working on some of those. The socks I think I'll do 1st October with the Carolina Fiber Girls. So hopefully get those done. Those have been on the needles since April of 2014, so they need to get finished. This is going to be a very, very short episode, but that's okay. Concessions, purchases, yeah, nothing. Nada. So moving on to the film room. Since the last episode, I finished reading The Silver Star by Jeanette Walls. It was a good book. I really enjoyed it. It was the story of these two sisters in the 70s. Their mom's kind of this hippie, dippy, she goes and leaves the kids for weeks at a time and, just leaves them enough money to buy chicken pot pies. That's what they live on. Sorry, I have an itchy eye tonight. So, the youngest one comes home from school one day, sees the police outside the door because the neighbors have figured out what has happened, and they decide they're going to ride on the bus from California to Virginia to their mom's hometown to see their uncle, who they've never met. So it was a good book. I really enjoyed it. And now I'm reading Firefly Lane by Kristin Hannah. And it's another story. It takes place from the 70s through 2000s about these two women, best friends. They meet when they're 14, and they're very different. but it's just the story of them and their lives and going their way to college and graduating and getting their jobs and doing all that fun stuff. So if I'm enjoying it, I'm about maybe a little less than halfway through it. Um, I like Kristin Hannah. I've read a couple of her other books. I read one, I don't remember the titles, I should have looked them up, but there was one. It was about the psychologist. She's a child psychologist, and she has this scandal in her career, so she ends up going home where her sister, her estranged sister, is the sheriff, and because they find this little girl in the woods, and she's, got no, just like a nightgown on, it's freezing, and she won't talk, so they're trying to figure out, what happened to her, obviously. And then there was another one that I read with a woman who was deployed to Iraq in, kind of her marriage was falling apart before she left, but she was always in denial. She was like, she's the perfect wife, mother, soldier, never made a mistake, so her marriage can't be falling apart, of course. So she goes to Iraq, she's severely injured, and it's kind of like her coming home and dealing with her kids and, you know, trying to come back from, she had lost a leg, and dealing with her husband and all this other stuff. So that one was pretty good. So I like her. She's becoming one of my favorite new authors. So one moment, I need to drink. Okay. As far as TV goes, the only thing that's new, Dancing with the Stars started on Monday. The Stars. I think they're really starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel. It was pretty good. It was all right. I was surprised the Andy Grammer, the singer. I like his song, the Honey I'm Good. It's got peppy. It's got a good beat. He was really good. I was surprised. I was kind of surprised. The one who really surprised me was the National Guardsman. He was one of the three who helped subdue the terrorist in France on the train. Um, he was really good. I was actually very impressed. So were the judges. They were all very shocked. Um, but I mean, come on, these stars. Some kid from YouTube. Okay, never heard of him. I'm old, I know. Um, Tamara Braxton. Yeah, you got like a semi-famous Braxton sister. Couldn't get Tony, so you got her sister. She was good, not surprisingly. Nick Carter, Backstreet Boy. Again, not surprising. He was good. There was some Real Housewife. Her husband plays for the Atlanta Falcons. Never watched any of those Housewives shows, so she was awful, and she had attitude, you could tell. Um, Paula Deen, eh, she wasn't very good. Neither was Shaka Khan. Trying to think who else they had. They had the husband and the wife, something Pena Vega. They were both all right. Oh, Bindi Irwin, she was cute. She was very, very cute, and she was pretty good. I was actually, again, kind of impressed. I think I'm rooting for her. I don't think she'll win, but she's adorable. So that's it. So again, we're at like 14 minutes and I'm almost done. So I'm hoping now that this blanket is finished, I can have a little more interesting content to show you all. But I make no guarantees. Just stick around for my witty personality. I'm so funny. Anyway, so post game wrap up. I had mentioned last time that I had an idea for an knit-along, and let me turn my show notes pages. So I'm calling it the alphabet along. So we're going to break the alphabet up into 4 sections. So we're going to start October 1st. Whips count as long, we're going to use the Knit More Girls, or not Knit More Girls, Knit Girls rule for Stash Dash. In that whips count, but there has to be some knitting left on it. So it doesn't matter if you just have to bind off a toe, it doesn't work. Or Kitchener the toe, of a sock, no, that doesn't count. But if you have to knit the toe and then Kitchener it, that counts. So there just has to be some knitting. And it's a knit along. So again, for my purposes, it doesn't have to be blocked or ends woven in, just the knitting needs to be done. If it's a sweater and you knit it in pieces, as long as all the pieces are knit, it doesn't have to be blocked and seamed. It just, the knitting part needs to be done. So we're going to do it quarterly. So there'll be 2 months where there's 6 letters and then 2 months where there's 7. This first quarter we're going to do 6 letters. So again, multiple dipping I encourage. I don't know any knit-alongs who ever tell you you can't double, triple, quadruple dip, but I encourage it because, you know, prizes are fun. Who doesn't like to win stuff? I do. It's fun. So put it in as many things as you can find. More power to you. So I'm willing to accept any craft. So knitting, I'm calling it a knit along, but it's just because I knit. But knitting, crochet, weaving, sewing, dyeing, underwater basket weaving, whatever. Make it count. Figure it out. So what you need to do is make your project fit the letters for that quarter. So here's how you can do it. It can be the project type, like shawl for S. For H, you can do a hat, etc. The yarn name, the colorway name, the pattern name, the designer's name. Just somehow, I'm loosey-goosey. Like, if you can convince me that it fits, I'm willing to take it. So, be creative. Make me laugh. You know, come up with it. So, just make it fit the letters for that quarter somehow. There'll be 2 threads. There'll be a chatter thread and a prize thread. So the chatter thread, obviously talk as much as you want. There'll be 3 prizes pulled from that each quarter, 1 for each month, for $10 Ravelry pattern or patterns. I haven't decided if I'll do that monthly or if I'll wait and do it all at the end. I don't know which will be easier. It would probably be easier to do it all at the end, but I think it'd be more fun to do it monthly. So probably I'll do like the first podcast in November. I'll do like, 2 through, if we have 50 chatters, draw from 2 to 50, and then the next month do 51 to 60 or, whatever. I think that's how I'll do it. And then there'll be 1 prize from the completed object thread for each quarter. I haven't decided yet what the prizes are. I'm thinking of doing something similar to what Turbo Knitter does, which is pick a dyer and you go to their shop and pick what you want, and I buy it and have them ship it to you, or a bag or whatever. But I haven't quite figured that out yet. But there'll be a prize. So my only rules are you have to be a member of the group, and for the prize or the FO thread for each quarter, only 1 post per person. You can put as many things in that post as you want that fit the theme, but just to be fair, I don't want somebody doing a sweater or something like an even star and then somebody doing like 50 preemie hats and having 50 entries. Not that preemie hats aren't important, but I want everybody to kind of have a fair shake. So 1 FO post in the FO thread per person, but put in everything that you can. So, and chatter away, because, like I said, you'll win a prize. So, that's all of the rules. And like I said, you have to be a member of the group to win. I'm going to come up with a hashtag to do on Instagram. So, I haven't come up with that yet, but we still got time. So again, starting October 1st. Hopefully this will be fun. So, I did the random number generator. This is why I did a random number generator. And I'm sorry, because we got some interesting letters. Okay, so our letters for the first quarter are K, M, S, T. Didn't seem very random. Those two came up right after another, but I went with it. X and Z. So I'm very, very interested to see, especially X. Z, I might be able to come up with something a little bit easier, but I'm very interested to see if anyone can come up with something for X. You might, if you come up with something for X that's really, really good, there might be a bonus prize involved. I don't know. We'll see. X and Q, those are the two that I think are going to be very, very hard to do. So there's your challenge. I've thrown down the gauntlet. Come up with something good for X, you might get a prize just for doing so. So that's it, people. So contact info. Again, Crazy Knitting Fool on Ravelry. My Twitter is Crazy Knit Fool. On Instagram, I'm Kristin McCain. I still haven't changed that. I need to. The blog is Crazy Knitter Studio at blogspot.com. That's where the show notes are. I also put the show notes and embed the video in the Ravelry thread, which the Ravelry group is Crazy Knitter Studio. And the email is crazyknitterstudio@gmail.com. So, the next episode will be October 3rd. We'll be starting our ABC along, alphabet along. I need to remember the name of my own knit along. Hello. Anyway, so we'll have started our alphabet along at that point. So I hope you guys have a good couple of weeks and keep on knitting and have a good time. Talk to you later. Bye.